Greetings, Zombie Scholars. This is Brian with another installment of Lane's Logs. Before I get started too quickly, underneath this video there's a survey to take. Please click the link. It's just a way to get your feedback on how things are going, because believe it or not, we're halfway through this summer course. The survey will give me an opportunity to see how things are going. I've tried to email and correspond and take part in the discussions, but I really want to know how things are going with you. Hopefully we can find some ways to improve the course and maybe make it a better course for everybody overall. Also, I want to start off by saying I really enjoyed your discussion post this week. Had a great time talking about Romero, about race and gender. Everybody did a fabulous job. Part of my duty here in the logs is to try and bring all the discussions together. In every post, I posited that Ben is a very important character. By the way, if you're not checking out on the post multiple times during the week, you probably want to, because there's a lot of discussion going on there. Some people might be commenting on your posts or furthering things, or I even might post a follow-up question. Really want to have your participation in that. Some of these things are really taking off in some interesting and fabulous ways. I also loved the Module 1 assignment. Thanks so much, those of you that submitted videos and did a great job with that, for playing along with me in this sort of fictional apocalyptic scenario. Had a great time working with all of you on those things. We're headed forward, doing even more of that. Now, last time that I talked in these logs, we discussed what our takeaways were. What are our general takeaways? We talked about last time that the Haitian zombie is a figure that is always raced, it's always gendered. We ought to continue that. In fact, let's do more than just takeaways. Let's call these axioms. Axioms are principles which we take to be true, and that's what we really got going on in these zombie movies. So let's add to our first axiom and add a second one. Not only are the zombies raced and gendered, but the stories that we are looking at, they're always stories about the present. We tried to situate Romero in 1968, and I asked you, could you update this for 2020 in the COVID scenario? In each case, the figure of the zombie reflects the period of time that it's going on in. These are not stories about the future. This is not science fiction. They're not stories about an ancient past. Zombie stories, they're always about the present. Let's add a third axiom in here, and that is as we start to dig more and more about this zombie figure, and I asked you, could you define it, and y'all did a great job. The figure itself can represent many different things. As we noted in the first module, it could represent slaves when we were talking about Haiti. Also, it can represent minorities when we're talking about Romero's work. Many of you noted it can represent capitalists, it can represent consumerists, it can represent communists, the complete opposite. The thing about the zombie is it's sort of an open receptacle that can be filled with rhetorical meaning. In fact, it's sort of an open rhetorical figure, and it becomes whatever it's supposed to represent. In fact, it consumes whatever it's supposed to represent. Just in the same way that that zombie consumes everything. It's this gigantic horde mentality of taking over all of the meaning and the surplus that's associated with it. All right, one more axiom that we've gotten. Several of you mentioned this in your discussion post. I want to key in on that and talk about it. Zombie stories, yeah, there's a zombie figure there, but many of you noted, really it's about the survivors. And I asked you in the discussion post and in this assignment to start thinking very seriously about the stories of the survivors, because while the zombies are a threat, many of you picked up the larger threat is from the humans themselves. This is going to continue. This is going to be an important feature of all of these stories. I want you to keep that in mind, especially as we move ahead into the next module. We're looking at Danny Boyle and the so-called fast-moving zombie. Now we really are into the age of infection, when we've got zombies spreading like contagion. That's an important moment, and I want you to watch how many deaths are caused by zombies or how many are caused by other humans who are attempting to survive the zombie apocalypse. All right, we've got a lot going on in this next unit as we're moving forward for things. I also want to say we're going to continue this theme of looking at the survivors in the next assignment blog. In this one that's due tomorrow, I asked you to take a look at some of the survivors that might be with you. As it's coming up, I want you to consider what would happen in your apocalyptic scenario if there were other survivor groups out there, what they represent, and how you're going to deal with them. Ooh, it's getting really scary. Stay alive, stay together, zombie hunters. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.